सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So we're starting today the book called I Am That by, it's a talk, it's a dialogue between the reporter and Nisargata Maharaj. The entire book is different reporters or different followers or devotees asking different questions to Maharaji and his replies. This is the second edition, and so I guess I take it for granted that you have read the forward, introduction, and the author about the writing of this book on Nisargata Maharaj. So with that, I believe that you know that this is one of the recent sage or rishi or individual who got the self-awakening through the Gyan, knowledge. It was, in my personal opinion, was not only the Gyan alone, but his total surrender to his master and accept the mantra or the advice given by his master, and he, with the total faith and surrender, he accepted that mantra and practiced it in his life, and soon he got enlightened, or he got the self-knowledge, the supreme knowledge. Now this apparently needs some amount of grace, or great amount of grace actually. And other thing, in my opinion, is that in that lifetime, Siddhartha Maharaj got liberation while alive, which is known as Jivan Mukti or Jivan Mukta. But his work might have started few births earlier, which means the gathering the knowledge, the supreme knowledge, getting it clarity, and purifying his senses and mind. He would have come to this lifetime when he was liberated, when he touched that moment when his lifestyle changed. He became Jnani. So we start with the chapter 1, the sense of I am. If there is any question about what you have read so far or understood so far, please let me know. The questioner: it is a matter of daily experience that on waking up, the word suddenly appears. Where does it come from? Now you see how simple, how common question is this. This is the question that we may all have it. So the questioner is simply representing all of us, that in a daily experience, on stage, in waking up, the word suddenly appears. You see the word around you. Where does that come from? The Maharaj replies, before anything can come into being, there must be somebody to whom it comes. All appearance and disappearance presupposes a change against some changeless background. See how he straight away makes his point that in order to realize that something, in order to perceive something or realize something, that whatever that comes or goes, as questioner asked, that on waking up, suddenly the word appears. So Maharaj replies, before anything can come into being, all being, there must be somebody to whom it comes, which means this is the also out of Upanishad known as Drashya and Drashta, or seen and seer. Whatever that we see, there should be a seer. Without seer being there, nothing can be seen, or there cannot be any seen. And the same with the different language, different words, he explains. Before anything can come into being, there must be somebody to whom it comes. All appearance and disappearance presupposes a change against some changeless background. See, he says that it is that ultimate reality, the absolute truth, the changeless, that notices different changes, things that appear and disappear. So what is important? Important is the changeless. Without changeless being there, you cannot have the changes. You cannot notice the change. Question. Before waking up, I was unconscious. Maharaj, in what sense? Having forgotten or not having experienced? Don't you experience even when unconscious? Can you exist without knowing? A lapse in memory, is it a proof of non-existence? And can you validly talk about your own non-existence as an actual experience? You cannot even say that your mind did not exist. Did you not wake up on being cold? And on waking up, was it not the sense I am that came first? Some seed consciousness must be existing even during sleep, or soon. On waking up, the experience runs, I am the body in the world. It may appear to arise in succession, but in fact, it is all simultaneous. A single idea of having a body in world, can there be the sense of I am without being somebody or other? Each question and answer we will read at least twice, just to make sure that we get what he's trying to say. Before waking up, I was unconscious. For example, now think about this question, apply it to our own self. At night when you are sleeping, eventually you are into deep sleep that you may not be aware of. It is only in the next morning when you wake up, you realize you had a deep sound sleep. What happens when you are in that state? And in that state, you are not aware. The reason is the mind is resting. There is no play of mind. In other words, you are not body conscious. You are not mind conscious. You simply breathe and exist. Now, what does it mean that you simply breathe and exist? It only means there is that energy, there is that power, call it consciousness, that operates your breathing and allows you to be alive. Though your body and mind and intellect are at rest completely, unaware of its own existence. So the questioner says that I was unconscious. So are you unconscious at that time? No, you are conscious. If you are not conscious, you will be declared dead. You are conscious, but because your body, mind, and intellect cannot perceive it, cannot realize it, that you are conscious. So in other words, when to say that I am consciousness, what do we need? We need this body, mind, intellect. In other words, again, all this comes out of Upanishad. Upanishad says that the ultimate reality is consciousness. But in order to realize that you are consciousness, you do need body, mind, intellect. It is that faculty, that body, mind, intellect, that experiences itself, that experiences the consciousness. In yet another word, consciousness uses the body, mind, intellect to experience itself. Example, when you are in deep sleep, you are conscious, you are breathing, but your body, mind, intellect is totally at rest, completely unaware of the existence of your body, mind, or anything surrounding you, which means the world does not exist when you are into deep sleep. And the questioner calls it unconscious. And the reply from Maharaj, in what sense are you unconscious? Having forgotten or not having experienced? Don't you experience even when you're unconscious? Can you exist without knowing? Now, these are the questions Maharaj puts to question us. In other words, Maharaj puts it to us, addressed to all of us. We should apply it to ourselves, each question. So, let's look at the question he asked. In what sense you were unconscious? Was it forgotten or not having experienced? Don't you experience even when unconscious? Can you exist without knowing? A lapse in memory, is it a proof of non-existence? And can you validly talk about your own non-existence as an actual experience? You cannot even say that your mind did not exist. Did you not wake up on being called? And on waking up, was it not the same? Since I am that. This is reality. When we wake up, what is our immediate, on spontaneous realization? I am, I exist, I am there. That, unfortunately, we refer to the body and mind, that I exist, that I am there. That is, you do not need any proof to believe that you exist, to be sure that you are there. Yeah, we don't need any proof, any evidence. Nobody has to tell us. What is it that we believe I exist? What is that I? If it is body, what happens when you are in deep sleep? I is still there. In deep sleep, you are not conscious of it. You are not conscious of that I-ness or that consciousness or that awareness or the energy. These are the different names used by different people. Call it consciousness, awareness, energy, power, Brahman, God, whatever. It is always with us, and we are in that. It is during the deep sleep conscious because mind functioning. But the mind is still there. If mind was not wake up, how do you know you exist? It is because of your mind. You cannot even say that your mind did not exist. Did you not wake up on being called? And on waking up, was it not the sense I am that came first? Some seed consciousness must be existing even during the sleep. or soon. On waking up, the experience runs. I am the body in the world. It may appear to arise in succession, but in fact, it is all simultaneous. A single idea of having a body in a world can there be the sense of I am without being somebody or other. You see, that last sentence is so significant. Can consciousness alone, or call it energy, or frequency, or Brahman, can Brahman claim I am? No, it does not need to, because it's omnipresent, eternal, omniscient. It is because in the body, it has absorbed the limitation. So the consciousness within the body-mind frame appear to be limited, and only because of body and mind, it experiences itself. How? We say, I am that. Now, who is saying this? When Nisargadatta Maharaj tells us, I am that, yeah, we have to ask ourselves, who is claiming I am that? Who is it? Is it my mind? Is it my intellect? Is it my gathered knowledge or reading such book? Who claims I am that? It is not the consciousness. It is not the Brahman. The energy, the consciousness does not need proof, does not need to claim that I am consciousness. It is our jiva, it is our body-mind that reminds ourselves that I am consciousness, I am awareness. So it is the limited faculty trying to recognize unlimited factor. You get it? Within the limitation of this body-mind frame, we're trying to realize or experience or gain the knowledge of being unlimited. So to know unlimited frequency, energy, awareness, you do need body-mind frame. In yet another word, when the jiva drops the body and mind, the mind doesn't get dropped, by the way, it drops the body. The jiva, along with the mind and samskaras, are in subtle form. When it is in subtle form, it cannot realize itself. It cannot. It just become a being. With the help of body, mind, intellect, we come to action. So from being, we get onto doing. Doing stops when the physical form drops and you are in subtle form. In subtle form, there is no doing. In subtle form, it's just being. But in that subtle form, there is something which allows the subtle form to exist. And that is the spirit. That is that consciousness. That when the mind or samskaras and ego and attachments are dropped through the jnana, through the knowledge or through bhakti, then that spirit becomes a causal body, karana sharir. So it still remains as the potential seed. The potential seed that can absorb, that can pick up a new body and mind frame and come back to complete the karmic cycle. So if you remember in Tattvabodha, we read about gross body, subtle body, and causal body. Yeah. So ultimately, the spirit of consciousness stays in the causal body, depending on your own karmic account. So what you, with the physical body and mind, all your intentions, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions and words determine the state of your subtle body and causal body. If your lifetime with the body mind, if you have evolved by gaining higher knowledge or supreme knowledge, or engage yourself in seva or service, or devote your lifetime to the love of divine, bhakti it is known as, these methods, these lifestyles gives you a subtle body, experience of pleasure, or call it bliss. But subtle body has no physical form to experience it. It remains as a complete being. In that being form, when your mind, samskaras, attachments, desires, ego are disappeared, are dissolved, then what remains is just the causal body, the spirit. But all that happens while you are in this body, by developing the lifestyle that you evolve spiritually, by gaining higher knowledge or adopting one of the sattva gunas of bhakti or seva. So karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga or raj yoga. Next question. I'm always somebody with its memories and habits. I know no other I am. You see, this is also a question from us. This could be our feeling. No matter who says what to us, the reality is, I always feel I am somebody and I have certain memories and habits. I know nothing other than that. Isn't that true? If we were not reading, if we were not exposed to this knowledge by reading Tattva Bodha or Bhagavad Gita or Upanishad or any of these spiritual knowledge, what is our normal experience? Our normal experience is we are this body mind, we do have habits, and we do have memories, attachments, desires. That is what we are. We have no idea about who am I in real sense. The answer from Maharaj, is it not important to you to know whether you are a mere body or something else? Or maybe nothing at all. Don't you see that all your problems are your body's problems? Food, clothing, shelter, family, friends, name, fame, security, survival. All of this is the problem of your body. All this loses their meaning the moment you realize that you may not be a mere body. Isn't this true? 100%. All our needs, requirements, wants, desires are for whom? It is for our body, our mind, our ego, our intellect. That is what it needs. Name, fame, possession, relationships, whatever that we are engaged in achieving, it is for our body, mind, ego, intellect. Body needs food and water. Body needs clothing. Body needs shelter. Emotion needs family and friends. Our ego needs name, fame, security, survival. But the moment you realize that you may not be just a body, you may be something more than body. Does your awareness, does your love need any of that? Nothing. Nothing. It doesn't need anything because it is the life-giving. It is the source of everything else. We read this last question and then we stop or contemplate. What benefit is there in knowing that I am not the body? How important are these questions? Very simple and yet so profound. You have to relate these question answers to your own lifestyle, to your own thinking. Isn't that this question in our mind as well? What benefit is there knowing that I am not the body? Even to say that you are not the body is not quite true. Very practical. In a way, you are all the bodies, hearts, minds, and much more. You see how profound is this? To say that I am not the body is not entirely true. Because you are that source that all these. Go deep into the sense of I am and you will find it. How do you find a thing you have mislaid or forgotten? You keep it in your mind until you recall it. The sense of being of I am is the first to emerge. Ask yourself whence it comes or just watch it quietly. When the mind stays in the I am without moving, you enter a state which cannot be verbalized, but which can be experienced. All you need to do is to try and try again. After all, the sense I am is always with you. Only you thought, ideas, only you have attached all kinds of things to it. Body, feelings, thoughts, ideas, possessions, and so on. All these self-identifications are misleading. Because of them, you take yourself to be what you are not. In other words, once again, refer to Tattvabodha, refer to Bhagavad Gita or Upanishad. The quality of Prakriti are two. One is to envelop the reality. Second, to project what is not absolute true. Similarly, here Maharaji says same thing, that if all what you are not, if you drop what you are not, what remains is what you are. Yeah. Think of the answer. He says, ask yourself when it comes, or just watch it quietly. When the mind stays in the I am, without which can be experienced, without which moving or even enter the state which cannot be verbalized. You cannot verbalize without that power, without that energy, without that consciousness. All you need to do is to try and try again. After all, the sense I am is always with you. Only you have attached all kinds of things to it. What does it mean we have attached? It goes back hundreds and thousands of millions of lifetime earlier. Other words, mind conditioning. Or yet another way to explain is the Maya, is the Prakriti, is the spell of the nature of Maya, which projects what is limited, what projects what is unreal. And when you are in the bound, in the spell of Maya, you tend to believe all what you see, all you perceive, all you feel or think is real. Moment you drop that feeling or believing that all what you feel, perceive, see is real, only then there is something else that you discover, something else that is unfolded. What is it? You need not give any word or name to it, but it is that substance that is called that. He simply calls it that, capital T, that. It does not have gender, it does not have any, you cannot name it, it's just that. That is what we are. And that is why he calls it I am that. I would rather go slow. We did 3 or 4 questions every time. But what we need to do is repeatedly read these questions and answers. Think that these are your questions. Think that this is answer given to you, not to the journalist, not to the one who is writing it. Apply these questions and answers to your own life, to yourself. Imagine you are asking these questions, because we all have these questions. And the questions are important for clarity. We read only 5 questions today. But these 5 questions, in my opinion, are the questions we may have it ourselves. So the answer given to these questions are directly answers given to us, to each one of us. The only requirement is the sincere and honest engagement in reading, understanding it, and getting it clarified. No superfluous reading, no reading for the sake of reading a book. I am going slow and trying to provoke you to think about it, ask questions. This book, we are not reading Upanishads or Vedas or Tattvabodhas or Bhagavad Gita, which were experienced or realized or written thousands of years ago. This is recent past, just a couple of 100 years. Yeah, some of us have lived in that period. Yeah, Nisargadatta Maharaj left his body in 1980s, if I remember, in 80s. Yeah.
1981.
So, yeah, 1981. So some of us probably were alive at that time. And so it is during this period, this lifetime, that he has realized, and he is considered to be one of the greatest masters by doing nothing great. He did not do yoga. He did not do any meditation. Only one thing he did. He believed on the word of his guru and he practiced it. He followed in his life. What is that? His guru only gave that one mantra. You are consciousness. You are Brahman. You are that. And since then, he believed in eternally. He was convinced, I am that. I am that consciousness. I am Brahman. And apparently there was no change. He looked the same as he was earlier. He did the same worldly life. He maintained his family. Everything else remained as is. But his entanglement, his attachments, his desires, his needs We're limited. We are completely gone. He performed his duty just as a duty, without attachment and desire. And as I said, remember in his lifetime that he transcended and he became a self-realized master. But that is just the end of his evolution. I'm pretty sure he must have started this knowledge, practicing this lifetime again earlier. The awakening happens instantly, but in order to that to happen, there is a work in progress. It could take some time, in different cases, such as Gautam Buddha, Ramana Maharshi, Ramakrishna, Brahmas, all of them, they became self-realized masters in that particular lifetime. But his journey became, the spiritual journey became many lifetimes earlier. And then through the evolution, finally at particular time, that grace descends on the person and instantly it changes everything. Nothing from outside world, nothing changes outside because there is nothing outside, all within. So when things change within yourself, your outlook, everything changes for you. So there is another way that one could really practice this self-knowledge is to make notes. For instance, this book what we are reading, question answers. If you feel that these questions are genuinely your questions, you may have asked this question yourself. Yeah, you may feel it. Put that question in your book and say, it is my question. Yeah, and then read the answer. Otherwise, it will remain as the reading of book. Encourage yourself to raise the question. Encourage yourself to mentally, emotionally understand these questions. Because most of these questions are the questions as if it is our own. Simple and yet significant. Yeah. For example, the last question that what we read, what benefit is there in knowing that I am not the body? Very simple question, yeah? It's a question who is like ignorant person, spiritually speaking. So the master tells you that you are not the body, mind, or intellect. You are something more than that. The question we could have, what benefit could I have by believing that I am something more than body, mind? Yeah, it's so simple, easy question we may all have. Then read the answer, as if the answer is given directly to us and not to the reporter or journalist. Hari Om Asidji. I'm so happy to see you.
I'm happy to meet you also and everyone else here. Thank you.
How are you feeling? Are you feeling good?
Yeah, it's
Your
a mixed
knees?
one. Yeah, my knees have improved. There are some infections there for which I'm going to Chandigarh once again for treatment.
Okay. We have started reading the new book called I Am That from today. Today is the first day.
Excellent, I know.
It's so good that you are with us. And I'm happy that all of us are serious about the session of reading every Saturday. And so I think it's very useful. Apart from doing yoga and pranayama, meditation, this is also very important as we're trying to do all methods of karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. So if we have no more doubts or questions, shall we conclude today? Let us offer our prayer. Asato ma satyamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya loka samasta sukhino bhavantu loka samasta sukhino bhavantu samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, God, for giving us air to breathe. Thank you, God, for giving us water to drink. Thank you, God, for giving us sun for energy. Thank you, God, for giving us food to eat. Thank you, God, for giving us good health and happiness. Thank you, God, for giving us positivity. Thank you, God, for giving us all that we deserve. Thank you, God, for your love, your protection, your guidance, your blessings. Thank you, God, for the existence. Thank you for giving me a chance to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you, Acharya ji.
Everybody.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Acharya.
Have a blessed
Thank you very
day.
much, Acharya. Thank you.
Thank you.